Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this cards UI design in Figma. For this particular video, we're creating client testimonial cards, but you can reuse it for other things. Maybe you want to create achievements and milestones, or you want to display services, or maybe if you're creating a website that has different categories, you can use this as category cards. But yeah, anyway, let's get started. We're going to start with a frame. So I'm just going to click on F so I can say insert a frame. I'm just going to click. Let's change the width of our frame to 1440 by 800. And I'm going to change the fill of this frame so it to be completely black. Let me get closer. Now I'm going to insert a rectangle. So click on R and I'm just going to click so that we have a rectangle. Next up, I'm going to change the dimensions of this rectangle. Let's change the width to 385 and the height is going to be 265. Next up, let's add our corner radius. We're going to increase the corner radius to 8 on all sides. Next up, let's change the fill. The fill of this rectangle is going to be 00103C. So that's it here. And next up, I'm going to add a stroke. So come over to stroke, click, and now we're going to have a stroke. So for the fill options, we're going to change it to gradient. So select the gradient option and let's add 2 more stops. So I'm just going to add gradient stop. We're going to add 2. So we have 0%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. Let's change the position for this one to 35, and we are going to have the third stop at 70%. Let's change the color of the one at the 0% stop. So the color is FFP60B, and I'm just going to insert that for the second stop at the 35% mark, FF2553. And this for the third stop, which is at the 70% mark, we're still going to use this yellow color. So I'm just going to paste, and then for this final one, I'm going to use the red color. So I'm just going to paste that. So we're going to have this. I'm going to rotate this. So I'm just going to, let me get closer. I'm going to just rotate it till we have something like this. It's not really specific, but I guess it's at, let me see. Let's say 40 degrees. You can just leave it at 40 degrees and that's fine. And I'm just going to click on escape so I can close that dialog. Next up, we want to add a sort of glow. It's actually a shadow, but we're just going to make it look like it has an underglow. So I'm going to go over to effects. We're going to add an effect. I'm going to start with the position. Position is 8. The X position, sorry, is 8. Y is also going to be 8. The blur is going to be 25. We're going to leave spread at 0. And we are going to change this color. We are going to use the yellow color. So that's FFB60B. And we're going to use this. Let's make this opacity or transparency 40%. And now we have this underglow. We're going to reuse it for our other elements, which is the circle and a line. So let's add those other elements before we add in our text. So I'm going to add an ellipse. So I'm just going to click on O so that I can add this. Next, I'm just going to select this rectangle, Control, Alt, and C to copy properties. Select this circle, Control, Alt, V to paste properties. What we are going to do now is change the dimensions to 60 by 60. And I'm just going to come a bit closer and I'm just going to sort of place it here. No real position, just sort of, place it there. And I'm going to hold Alt and create another copy and place it here. This, we're going to change the dimensions to 40 by 40. So 40 for the width, 40 for the height. And this one, I'm just going to leave it right around here. Let's now add in our text. This text will be in the description box below. So I'm just going to grab my text and I'm going to start with the actual testimonial. And then I'm going to click on T so that I can add, and I'm going to paste. We're going to go over to font typography. Sorry. The font is going to be Lato. The size is going to be 18. The line height is going to be 34 and letter spacing is going to be 0.5. And I'm going to change the resizing to auto height and we are going to change the width to 332. And I'm just going to align it to the center of our frame, and the spacing between the top of the rectangle and this text box should be 25. I'm going to create another text box by just creating a duplicate of this. So I'm going to hold Alt and Shift so I can create another copy. Oops. Alt and Shift to create a copy while keeping it aligned. And well, that actually moved a bit. So I'm just going to realign it. I'm going to add in the name of our this particular client. So I'm just going to grab the name, copy this, and paste. I'm going to change the resizing to auto length, and I'm going to just change. We're going to leave the font the same. We're just going to change the size to 22. All other details remain the same. The final detail for each card is going to be a line. So I'm just going to click on L so that I can create a line. I'm holding Shift down so I can have a perfectly straight line. And I'm going to change the width to 160. This line is also going to have a gradient. You can either select the rectangle or the circle. But I'm going to select the rectangle, Control Alt C, and then I'm going to select the line and I'm going to Control Alt V to paste. And you can remove the fill, doesn't matter, and remove the effects. So we're going to have this. Let's create a frame with this. So select these two items, the line and the text. I think I have to align this to the left. The line wasn't, aligned to the text on the left. So I just aligned it to the left. I'm going to create an auto layout using Shift A. The gap between the line and the name of our client should be 15. And then I'm going to select these two. We can create a frame immediately, but let's just change the spacing before we create the frame. It makes it easier. So I'm going to make the spacing 55. Now, while all of these elements are selected, hold Shift, select the rectangle as well, Shift A, and now we've created a frame. I can just send this rectangle using your left square bracket and then send it to the back. And that's an easy way to create frames. So when you're trying to figure out, oh, what's the spacing here? What's that spacing here? Typically, what I like to do is build it from the ground up. Just use a rectangle, place your text wherever you feel like, or place other elements where you feel like it. Then when you're done, just select the rectangle and then your text or your other frames, and then use it to create an auto layout. Instead of trying to figure out spacing or for where everything just go, just place it wherever you want and then it create a frame afterward. So for these circles, just to make it easier so that it will all be a single card, we're just going to group it. Now we have our client testimonial card. I guess I could just align it to the center. Now we're going to need 2 more copies of this so that we can have a total of 3 cards. So I'm just going to create 1 more copy. I'm going to leave the spacing. Let's bring it closer instead. This spacing is currently minus 42. Yeah, minus 42 is fine. We're going to move the other circle and I'm going to bring it here. Oops. I'm just going to select the 2. So it's going to be minus 42. While they may be overlapping, it's just because of these circles and These dimensions is actually what you find in a default desktop layout. So this card will fit more in the desktop, and I'm trying to pick a spacing that will work if you had gutters or things like that. That's why I'm using 24. So let's now work on the second card. I'm going to start with this circle, and I'm just going to move it to the top. Let's say right around here. That's fine. Let's now move the second one just up a bit, and I don't want to move it into the frame. So if I use my actual cursor, my mouse, it's going to add it to the frame. I don't want to add it. So I'm just going to use my mouse to move it around. My arrow keys to move it around. Let's grab the text for this one. So I'm going to grab this text, copy, and then I'm going to paste. Let's now grab the name, and I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste here. And we are done with the second card. Let's move on to the final one. I'm going to select this circle and then just move it till it's around here. Let's see, somewhere around here. And for this smaller one, let's move it to, let's see, here. I'm going to use my arrow key so it just overlaps. Okay, let's grab our text. I'm going to copy this, paste, and then I'm going to grab the name, copy, and then paste. And with that, we have created all of our client testimonial cards. I'm just going to select all of them and then align it to the center of our frame. With these circles here, if you wanted to add client, the client pictures or things like that, maybe just make the circles larger, and then you can add the client pictures to your frame. But anyway, that is it for this one. Let's just quickly see how it will look like in the prototype view. And I'm just going to change this to full screen. And yeah, that is it for our client testimonial cards. You can use these cards for other things. Maybe you want to present services, or you want to see accomplishments or things like that. These are just card UI designs. Well, anyway, that is it for this video. It's a quick one. If you want to watch other videos on similar things like this, you can go ahead and check the playlist on screen right now to watch other videos in Figma. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.